Good evening and welcome to the third installment of the triple header between Culain and RaikouRider. I am joined by none other than Error72. Welcome, sir.
Hello, people. How are you?
I am okay. I'm a little bit tired, but
Jace number 3. How's your voice holding up?
voice is actually pretty good. I've gotten used enough to doing a lot of commentary over the last few months that
Since
my
you just went silent, I'm guessing you're just trusting it.
no, I clicked the item tracker for whatever reason when I click it actually makes it so that Discord doesn't work with my push to talk. But I was saying that I've done enough restreams over the last couple of months between this and the Z1 tournament that my voice does handle pretty well, fortunately. So
Fair enough. Like the Culain trash talking in the file names. See you later, Raikou.
yes, indeed, and I believe we're good to go here. Just waiting for them to hit the dot ready, and we will be on our way. And we have started.
Well, in 10 seconds. You gotta give Race Spot the countdown. And we're off. And a 1 down. Graveyard encounters at 1/1/1 or oftentimes bad things happen. We have a palace, which looks like Palace 5, just north to start, and the town of Ruto. However, you can't pick up the spell out of the town of Ruto because you need the trophy item, which neither of our runners have. And in Jump Cave, or Trophy Cave, we have the boots, which will allow our Culain to walk on the water. Most water tiles. So they'll make movement across the overworld a lot easier. And RaikouRider has found the town of, oh my gosh, Raru, which is has a free spell. So you're going to see what that is. Here's the life spell. Not the worst spell to get at the very beginning. I think I saw it was worth 40, which seems really low for Magic 1, but...
yeah, that's actually really low.
So I'm thinking I might have misread it, but I'm going to get a second chance.
Yeah, you got it right.
I did get it right. It doesn't happen very often.
So, Lavkian, what we mean by that is that in the early round here, the Swiss rounds, the fire spell is actually linked to another spell randomly. So whenever you pick up fire or the other spell, you will be able to cast the opposite spell.
And fire can't be linked to itself. So it would always be linked to a different spell in the early rounds. Later rounds, when we get to the single elimination matches, that won't be the case anymore.
That is correct.
And so in the meantime, Raikou has picked up his boots. So now both players have boots. Find the back side of, I believe that's Saria. And we're now in a P-back cave, which I didn't catch what the item was. But I guess I'll have a second chance.
Where were the boots?
The trophy cave. We have a plunger, otherwise known as the recorder. Probably not useful, but you know, maybe we'll finally be surprised. So what the recorder does, it allows you to remove the river devil, and most of the time there's an alternate path around the river devil. And Big Chick has not yet found a good way to make it to where oh my gosh, 3-Eye Rock to reveal a palace. He hasn't been able to set that up yet, so it's usually the last item you want to find in Randomizer. Right. Culain found the backside of Bagoo, so if he wants to, not the backside of Bagoo.
The backside of Bagoo.
He might have found it. Hey, I'm kind of tired too, so.
Very
I'm doing
nice.
this on short notice. I wasn't prepared, just like D&D. But he found Bagoo, which will allow him to backdoor in the Saria, if he so wishes. I have a medicine cave and a death mountain find by our runners.
Yeah, we'll see what medicine cave nets here. Death Mountain, RaikouRider opting to not to check the starting caves in that area, which we'll sometimes see players do.
And Palace 4 has been found. Not much
Wow.
to do there.
3 Gorillaz, how nice.
Hey, at least you have a castable life spell.
Yes, indeed, and we do
And
have
a
a
heart
container.
container.
A magic container cave found on Raikou's side.
And a magic key. That
Nice.
is one of the better items to find early. Now Raikou has the option of going into palaces and having a extremely high chance of completing them, depending on what palace it is.
That is correct. Yeah, it's one of those items you definitely would love finding early in every seed.
Yeah, it's one of the items that, as part of the guarantee of Randomizer, that you will not need to go into a palace without either the fairy spell or the magic key, because the fairy spell allows you to skip locked doors as well. We found the grass tile on Culain's side, which had the kidnapped kid. And also, red diaries are worth 200 this seed, so we'll see if any of our players, when decides to, if they find a good encounter for that, do a little bit of early grinding.
Yeah, if you can kill them and they're worth 200 and it's easy to get to, it's not the worst thing in the world to get yourself to at least attack 3.
So Culain took a quick peek in the Death Mountain and went into the one cave that was available. And even though he has the boots, the water actually touches the boundary and can't walk on it. So choosing not to go deeper into Death Mountain with just the one entrance. Nice 200-point P-bag find there. So players are going around and just looking for, checking out the various caves and towns, trying to find items. There are, I believe, 7 items on the Western continent, besides
Sounds
Death Mountain.
And a 500-point P-bag.
No, that's its normal item. Randomizer is broken.
Well, it's not normally 500 points, is it?
Is that 500 or 200?
I think it's 200 on this Western Continent one. What does
Right.
that leave us? That leaves us palaces, and I believe Death Mountain left. I think we've seen every cave now. And no raft to be found.
Raikou finds Medicine Cave, which I believe was a heart container. So in the back door, sorry again, but we've actually met Bagoo for once, so...
Yeah, we'll see what spell he gets out of here and what this gives him as far as additional exploration options. We should see at least a palace or two and maybe the other entrance to Death Mountain, but still no magic key for Culain here.
Grabs the mirror out from under the table, which is the fetch quest item needed to get this spell.
Nice.
Fairy spell.
Yeah, very good. A good spell to find, especially since he does not have the key.
And I believe it's also castable as magic too, so...
Wow.
We'll see if he chooses to dive in any palaces.
Oh, and downstab right away, so that's a nice find there for Culain. Yeah, that fairy being castable at magic too is, we saw that last seed with Simple Dude and Angry Larry with it being 44, extremely cheap. Raikou tanking his way through these desert encounters.
Probably the worst encounter you can see on in Western Hyrule is this one right here. Even though it does not appear to have the annoying rocks, so...
Yeah, that is a bonus. But still, it's not a kind encounter either way you go. Without downstab. So, we see Culain. He is actually north of where Raikou was just at. That is the road that is boulder blocked there. And that is where he has found himself. He does find the back end of Jump Cave. And I believe the back end of Fairy Cave. So, multiple ways to get up here.
That was actually the front end, or the back end of the...
Short Cave?
Drop-up cave.
Okay, so Short Cave,
That would
okay.
normally... Yeah.
Still not finding any palaces, though. We do have
We've
another
seen
river
two
here.
of the three. Because we've seen Palace 4 and we've seen Palace 5.
Ooh, not good palaces to find. So yeah, just missing that key, which is in a cave that he will hopefully find soon. I imagine that's what he's looking for right now, as we do find our final palace, and it is Great Palace! Ah, so nothing good on Western Continent. So it's looking like either 4 or 5 or Death Mountain here to find the raft. Not fun. Worst case scenario, I suppose, would be...
Can we redraw the seed? Because, I
Right.
wouldn't want to do that.
Well, and it could be really bad. It could be Hammer and 5, and then the boulder being the raft. A lot of nasty scenarios available.
Kind of talk wounds my soul. Sorry how our runners giving themselves a high five.
Yes,
Going
indeed.
through Short Cave.
So yeah, Raikou will get Fairy and Downstab. Meanwhile, Culain looking for that last cave, wow, I can't talk, the Magic Container Cave, which contains that the key, which not what they're looking for. Obviously, they want a raft, and they don't want to go to any of those other places to find it.
Raikou, taking a different path up north, actually hasn't found the front end of Saria yet, so he can't go pick up his down stab yet.
Yeah, we'll see it here. But he also, it is important to note, only has Magic 1. And Culain opting out of Death Mountain, still looking for that other cave. Very just castable, isn't it? 60 magic. Almost attack 4 for Culain here, so getting those early levels quickly is very nice. And he's gonna just go into P4. No, he's gonna grab magic, alright.
And if I recall correctly, that cave up there is Magic Container Cave. He's walking away.
Oh, he goes back.
And he's going back.
When in doubt,
Give me a
double
heart
check.
attack here.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen more than once a cave like that cost somebody a race just because they couldn't find what they needed. But he does locate it, and we'll find the key. Does have the fairy spell, so I mean, he can still get through palaces, but this will at least give him the indication of I've either got to go to Death Mountain or check Palace 4 or 5.
Right.
And Raikou gonna get the same bad news as soon as he finds GP up here. So pretty much bang on even. What you like to see 15 minutes into a race.
I'd probably give Culain a slight advantage at this point. He's got down stab, he's got a few more items, a little bit more exploration.
Yeah, we'll see Raikou go get down stab here in just a second. Actually, he needs to get magic too. Shift, that's a really tough call. I would probably actually go into Palace 4. It's fairly small. That would be my play, but at 423, technically speaking, P5 is completable if you can fight Guma at such a low attack level. So Culain gonna opt for P5 here and see what he can find. I don't know. What would you do, Eric?
I'd probably go into P5. Just because I probably could complete it.
Yeah, see, I know that I wouldn't, which is why I say P4. You can find the item in there, hopefully fairly quickly, and from there I'd go to Death Mountain.
If I had Hammer, I'd go to Death Mountain.
For sure. For sure. So we'll see if this pays off. I mean, with Magic Key, I suppose 5 isn't a bad play. The key doors are pretty much irrelevant at that point. Obviously, because you have the Magic Key, but you know what I mean. If you're going in with just Fairy at a full Magic Bar cost, I don't think that P5 would be a good choice, but the Magic Key kind of changes that a bit.
Now, given Raikou's levels, I might actually go into P4 instead, or even Death Mountain, just to try and, get some levels. I wouldn't want to go into P5 at 212.
No. Not unless your name is Simple Dude. We did see him actually go in at...
Well, my name is Error, and I'm also very good at this game. I don't want to go into P5 at 212.
No, I understand. I mean, we saw him going at 223 and beat it at 333. So, and it wasn't easy. P5 is a pretty treacherous place, and he didn't have downstab. Luckily, these guys do have downstab. Makes navigating blue iron knuckles much easier. Unfortunately, Culain getting all the jars and no P bags. And two of these stupid hammer throwers on that block room. That is like the worst place ever for those. Now, Shift, I'll be honest with you. I'm probably not making a correct choice by doing 4, but my thought is, even though I'd probably forget the layout by the time I got back to it, I'm knocking out a palace as far as routing to the boss, and also it's a palace that I can probably finish. Whereas P5 is so large, and I don't really want to spend the time exploring it if I don't feel like I can actually finish off Gooma.
Oh man, we've got droppers dropping blue iron knuckles.
Oh baby!
Was waiting to see.
All right, and right there's Gooma. It's gonna be attack for Gooma. He's got low life though, so a nice change in comparison to normal.
And another thing, as far as
holy, he had 5 lives.
He apparently did. But there's something to be said about fighting Gooma here. And we'll see if he doesn't. Because he's slowly pushing Gooma to the right. There is a cheese strat for Gooma.
I've used that cheese strat with attack 6 and still died. I'm just bad at Gooma. But he has substantially less life than what we normally see. Usually it's, you know, 10 or so hits just to drop him down to where you start seeing white bars. So not a bad thing. And if he gets good experience here, he can actually possibly double dip on attack levels. Unfortunately, it does not.
Gonna go ahead and eat the gym here.
Well, it's still attack 5, so it's not terrible.
This tells me he's going to immediately turn around and go left and look for the item. Because he doesn't want to leave the gym here while looking for the item.
Right.
Meanwhile,
223 RaikouRider is in P5.
Is in P5.
Just call him Raikou, dude.
But hey, if he finds those blue iron knuckle droppers, let's see how much experience he gets here. 200.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, if I were Raikou and I saw that, granted, the Moa's a real pain in the ass, but I'd be getting some levels off of that. Now, I know that that's not endorsed by Dig Shake, but I don't really care.
He hasn't seen him yet, though, and he's about to come across Gooma.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah. Next screen over. Or up and over. Yeah, so I always check the drippers, just in case. And Culain doing some nice navigating there, getting through that screen with the fairy spell.
Question in chat about why go into 5 before 4. The thing about going into Palace 4 is that the boss requires a very specific spell, mainly the Reflect spell, to defeat the boss. And neither of our players have it. So you would be going into Palace 4 and not being able to complete it. It's still not a bad play because finding the item in 4 is usually much easier than finding the item in Palace 5, because Palace 5 is just huge.
Yeah, I mean, I think that question is best answered by the player. Whereas we saw Culain had no issue with an attack 4 Gooma, there are quite a few people who have no chance of an attack 4 Gooma. So, whereas in Culain's case, he can just, knock out 2 birds with 1 stone, Raikou is most likely not going to be able to do an attack 2 Gooma. So, as he goes all this direction, he's going to find out where Gooma is, but have to backtrack to find the item. And then, he's going to have to make his way all the way back in here again. So, while if you do Palace 4, you still have to backtrack without Reflect, it's a much smaller palace to have to do so. Yeah, Culain is actually really good at this game. Don't let him fool you.
So you didn't like that attack 2 Gooma, but how do you like attack 3?
I don't know. Simple did it. I think somebody else could too. Granted, I think Simple's had probably twice the life that this one does. And Culain finding the fairy room here.
So Culain with his 9,000 lives is just going to take a death abuse here.
So he has an up
try and fly up there.
He has not up 8 since the start of the game, because there were 2 extra lives that they found. and he had an up 8 since then. That's impressive.
Well, when you have a castable life spell at Magic 1,
Well, that's true.
it does, it's like, hey, you can put those like red jars for good use, as you see. So. I think we have the false wall here. Take Magic 3. But only having one gem placed, Culain has incredible levels.
He's starting to look like Angry Larry here for a second, and he didn't even do all the P bags.
And Raikou has had enough of Palace 5 and just quits.
Yeah, if this ends up being the raft, this is going to be a long, long seed for Raikou.
Head north, so he is headed to Palace 4.
Yeah, I think this is the proper... I say that, I don't know that. It's a tough call.
It's a good play. There's no wrong answer here. It just kind of depends on your comfort level with combat, your levels.
Right.
Whether you value trying to take out the palace in one go to finding the item quickly. Because it will be faster to find the item in 4. There's no doubt of that.
Yeah.
On an average run, you will find the item in 4. As Culain finds the item in 5.
And it's a trip, too. And 3-2-3 for Death Mountain is sometimes not good either. And it's the glove. Oh, dang. Wow.
So Raikou's probably has a 50-50 shot at finding the raft in here.
It has to, well, unless it's the hammer.
Unless it's the hammer. Well, it's not. It doesn't have to be the hammer because they haven't found the hammer cave item in Death Mountain yet.
Right, but you said it's a 50-50 shot if it's not the hammer. But if it is the hammer, they'll still have a 50-50 shot. It'll just be on Death Mountain somewhere. Because all they have left is Ford and the 2 Death Mountain spots to check between the 2 of them.
Culain wants nothing to do with Death Mountain either. He is diving in the floor.
Can't say I blame him.
I don't blame him either.
I mean, it's a good way to get early levels as well. And Death Mountain, a lot of times, is just a real pain. And Culain getting all the P-bags in the world. Probably going to end up with Magic 4 here pretty quick. Or that might be Life 5, I'm not sure. But these red Iron Knuckles, a solid 200.
It helps when red Iron Knuckles are worth 200. We have the item room on Raikou's side.
And blues are only worth a paltry 70.
They're worth 200 in 1, 2, and 5.
Right. Yeah, see, me knowing that those reds are 200, that means I'm farming the start of this dungeon with a little bit.
Dig Shake would not approve, man.
Yeah. And that's why Dig Shake is always going to beat me, but that's alright. And a Magic 4 here, so 5-4-4 for Culain with 1 gem placed, as he also finds the item room.
That's the raft.
Nice.
Both good and bad for Raikou.
Very.
Because now he's going to go across the pond and find a whole bunch of stuff. Bad news is
gloves in 5.
Good gloves in 5.
That's actually, I mean, that's a 30-minute happening. I'm not going to call it a mistake, because it's not. If you can't get through it, you can't. But the fact now that Culain can just do 3 and 6 whenever he finds them, whereas Raikou's going to have to backtrack, is such a massive deal.
This is just going to be, well, there's a very, very slight chance this is not a glove required scene. I've seen it once.
Yeah.
But in all likelihood, you're going to need the glove at some point, and Palace 5 is likely going to be the last place Raikou looks.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just, it's unfortunate.
So I don't want to call the race over, but
There's a very high probability that it is.
At 27 minutes in, but I just feel like Culain's going to build an ever-growing lead because of the glove.
It's good. Well, I think it's just going to be an astronomical lead. Again, you don't have to backtrack. GP's on West Continent. He's finished finished all of West, other than maybe a spell item in Death Mountain. I don't know.
And of course, Carrick, but...
Well, right, yeah, he's got to go back to P4, but there's so much time saved by not having to go look for the glove elsewhere.
So we got a medicine on a desert tile. Raikou has picked up Spell in Spell Town, or New Kasuto.
And Reflect from Old Kasuto.
Reflect is an Old Kasuto. Doesn't look like Raikou has enough magic to cast Spell at Magic 2, so...
Who picked up the Water of Life?
Goes ahead and up A's.
Who was it that picked up the Water of Life?
That would be Culain.
Thank you. Yeah, so, man, pretty crazy scene. Here's Maze Island. The early boots are so nice.
Whoa! Did you see that?
Uh-huh.
Hey, Dig Shake! We found something.
Somebody clip that, send it to Dick Shake.
Cinnamon seed number 2. Still running around in a palace on Maze Island, which is Palace 6. I knew that before I saw the show, honest. Hey, Dig Shake! So we have our Rebonac refight, even though we haven't fought him yet the first time. But who's counting? Worth an awesome 150 experience. Alright, who's going to the back door of Saria? I'm kind of curious what he's looking for. Is he looking for Death Mountain at this point? He may have picked up the medicine too, and I just didn't catch it. Poor Culain's between a rock and a hard place, able to get out of it. Luckily, life is super cheap this seed. See a drop room. Got Raikou and Mito.
Yeah, and he didn't pick up the Water of Life either, I don't believe, but he is going to be able to get his down stab at least.
I didn't see him get it, but who knows, maybe I just missed it. But, you know, coming in here for the down stab's definitely something you want sooner rather than later. So I remember Culain saying he wasn't all that good at this game, but sure has good room recognition because he noticed that was one of the dead end rooms.
Yeah.
Backed out of it before, much earlier than a lot of players were, including me.
But yeah, Culain's won his fair share of races. Don't let him fool you. He's incredibly skilled at the randomizer. However, this room, gonna go pick up the magic container. So yeah, I mean, he's got quite the knowledge. Raikou taking a death, unfortunately, here in this swamp encounter.
People hate, picking up the crest. Hey, we got one blue iron knuckle. We got two blue iron knuckles. Do I see three? Ah, I just got an orange one. I feel cheated after last season.
And there is the water of life for Raikou. After just going to Mito.
Feels bad. Feels bagoo, man.
Yeah, he is going to find the reflect spell here, though.
If Raikou's able to escape, and he does.
Well, we don't have 4 blues, but we do have 2 and 2 reds, so close
2
enough.
blue, 2 reds, and a Doom Knocker.
Oh, wow, what a room.
Meanwhile, Raikou finds the Phantom Bridge tile. Killing those blue iron knuckles felt a lot better than the other seed when they were 300.
Yeah, exactly. Just gonna skip over this one and go kill this red for 200 and move on.
Glove paying dividend for Culain. Got a trophy find on Maze Island. Still haven't found Thunder yet, so... I don't think Culain spent any time actually searching for the Maze Island items yet. We have the item room at 6 here. One thing you would want to look for here on Kieran P6.
At this time, probably a magic container would be what I'd want.
Well, he probably wants trophy, but we know trophy's not in here. We know the location of the other spell items, so...
Yeah, I mean, for magic containers, casting Thunder is very unlikely most of the time.
Instead, we have a little heart. Good for the soul. I have a heart container. Second item on Maze Island is a little bit more love.
All the hots.
So yeah, Barba was not actually glove blocked from what I could tell.
Well, that is good for Raikou.
The item is glove blocked, but Barbara himself is not, or herself. It's a
Right.
hammer hurt.
But, you know, for him, that's not a bad thing, right? Because unless it's the hammer, it's irrelevant for the most part. He's got all 3 spell items. And if it's blocked by the glove, it obviously cannot be the glove. Unless we really need to call in Dig Shake.
Have we seen anything hammer blocked this season?
I do not
There was
believe
the
so.
path up north that was hammer blocked, but all the caves on the western side would not hammer block.
That is correct.
So hammer's not actually likely required.
Hammer cannot be required. We have seen everything in the game. So, I mean, we have the glove, and we have all 3 spell items at this point, so... at best, it's a harder magic container.
I mean, I guess worst case scenario is that, you know, we need some magic containers because Thunder costs like 112 and still like Magic 6.
Yeah, that's a very real possibility, I suppose. And P-Bag Cave netting a little Dig Shake.
My apologies. Barba giving the maximum.
Ah, he thinks about it. So 2 palaces done. Still gonna be 6-5-4. And we have a should be Palace 2 find on Raikou's side here.
That should be correct.
And Culain,
Culain
Did he?
chooses not to explore Maze Island.
interesting choice actually. That trophy ends up being the Thunder Spell. Usually you check Maze Island even if you don't need a whole lot because they're fairly free items, but I'm just gonna go ahead and opt out of that.
So Culain almost back to as many lives as he had at the beginning of the game. Probably expect him to enter Palace 2 basically immediately.
Yeah, and it just has such a large advantage in levels at this point as well.
It's going to be slightly unfortunate he didn't go get the trophy, because if he had the trophy, then he would, for all intents and purposes, be in full go mode.
Yeah. And here's the hammer in P2. Let's hope that that doesn't bait Raikou into going to Death Mountain.
Unless Culain picked up Thunder and we didn't see it.
No, not that I'm aware of.
So we still need to turn on a medicine. We still haven't found Firetown. We haven't found Darunia yet. And then we still need to turn in the trophy, which only Raikou has.
Yeah, I mean, in Culain's defense, at this point, you've got Noburu, New Kasuto, and 2 spell items sitting in your inventory. So you have a 80% chance that you have the Thunder Spell. I feel like he's
Even
just
slightly higher just because of
fire.
Fire.
So, you know, I feel like he just feels like he's in full-on Dig Shake, and is just going to take that gamble that, you know, 15% chance or whatever it ends up being isn't going to end up costing him in the end. And I can't say that I blame him. The trophy being in one of so many locations that are left, not necessarily worth looking for at this point with so much left on the map.
So Raikou actually killed Helma Head and chose not to place the gem.
Yeah, he's gonna go back in and kill a few things. It looks like these drippers. If he'll, I think he no. I say if he just kills the drippers.
I think he saw, you know, a blue iron knuckle pop out of one of them, but
So meanwhile, Culain does finish off Helmet Head here. He's just gonna take the life 5 level.
can't say I blame him.
Yeah, with Magic 6 being 2,730, there's pretty much no way that he's going to probably ever get attack 7. So with 3 palaces left, he'll probably end with 658 or 677. So he's in good shape no matter how it goes.
So I haven't found the Valley of Death entrance yet.
Yeah, which at this point is either 3 or 1. And speaking of which...
right.
You know, at this point, if you're him, do you look for towns before going places? I guess not, but it's a tough call.
Given what's left, which is 3 and 1, they're short enough that since I'm here, I'd probably just do it. Because you're kind of likely to just stumble upon the item in 3 anyway, just because you're going right for both the boss and the item, and Palace 1 is just small enough that you probably don't mind spending a little bit extra time actually looking for the item.
Well, I mean, if he skipped Maze Island, I'd anticipate he doesn't look for items here at all.
I imagine he'll pick them up if he comes across them, but...
Right. I still think a magic container here is something that he should be actively looking for, as chances of Thunder being that cheap are pretty low.
Anyway, we went through Palace 3, so Raikou was able to get his experience. Taking, I believe, an attack level here. Does so.
Yeah, so first palace down for Raikou, and meanwhile 3 done for Culain here. Man. And no glove is the main point of that. No glove is rough.
Do knock us at this surprise.
Yeah, but I mean...
My spell being really cheap is just helping out so much.
Right, and he's getting tons of experience here. He's going to be able to take a life 6 before even getting to Rebenhack.
We've actually found the item in Palace 3. And we are, since we're here, going to take a peek. Which is the actual final heart container, because we know that Raikou has picked one up that Culain hasn't.
Yeah, if I'm Culain, I am hoping that that's a magic container, which is unfortunate that it's not, but we still have locations left.
Or trophy, but...
I don't know. I think at this point I'd be more worried about a magic container. I don't know. It's a tough call.
So Raikou has also decided to come take a peek at Palace 3. The item is glove blocked, just like it was in 6. But we'll see if he's able to reach the boss without the glove.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, neither item is of consequence. Which he should know that, because he's only missing the glove at this point.
Life 6 get. Next level will be actually life 7.
Always interesting when the backgrounds are pure black. Raikou exiting Palace 3.
choosing not to go into Palace 3 without the glove.
Man, I mean, we don't even. I don't think it's possible. I think we've seen both block rooms that could possibly keep you from getting to the boss. But I mean, at this point, it's got to be frustrating. You're 48 minutes in, and you haven't. You're looking for a glove. Is really what all you're looking for. And really, it's in one of the worst possible places, and that's Palace 5.
Have we seen the other block room that would block him?
And maybe we haven't.
I don't think we have. And there's a very high chance that it's to the right here, which is the... Oh, it could be to the left. Man. I don't pretend to know. There's a decent
It's
chance
a direction.
That's in a direction which is to the left, because the boss is to the right. And thus, Palace 3 is not actually glove blocked. So neither 6 nor 3 were glove blocked.
For the boss, yeah. Anyway.
For the boss.
Which again, that's all that matters in Raikou's side, anyways, is whether or not it's the boss. And I mean, I can't say that I blame him because exploring in there can be rough, but at the same time, that glove can be in 3 or 6. So it's I don't know, it's just a tough place to be.
Priority's probably trying to find New Kasuto, because I don't think either player has found it.
No, and he does have the spell.
No, we were in New Kasuto, because I know Raikou's been in there. And he picked up the spell there, but...
oh, did he? Okay. Right, that's right, yeah.
I couldn't actually cast it, because for magic containers and magic 2.
Here's the water tile, though. We'll see if this net's a magic container or not.
There's a very high chance it's a magic container.
Unfortunately, it takes it
Not
death.
100%, but very high.
No, yeah. MOAs are nasty when they're in a swamp. Oh, man, come on. If you're Raikou at this point, you're just like, cut me a break. I've got everything but the glove and magic containers.
Glove's still technically not required. Now, that's probably required in, Palace 6, but...
7, you mean? Yeah, chances of it not being required in GP is so low with all the waffle rooms, but it is possible.
Hey, take the first straight. Find Thunderbird in the Dark Link.
Yeah, it's possible to have that happen. Meanwhile, we have a P1 find on Culain's side.
Culain's spell looks so sad. It's just interesting to see him having basically all of the palaces done except, well, P1 and P4, but he's got the item out of P4. It just needs to get all the spells.
Yep. Just gotta get Thunder. Gotta find the towns, which we're not, he hasn't been running into. Not even gonna bother looking for the item in 1. Not a bad choice in my mind. Unless it's a magic container, which at this point could be a real factor. We know there's not one on Maze Island. So chances of there being one being here is pretty high, actually.
With Magic 5, he's probably okay. He's about to get Magic 6 here. And even the one thing that could slip him up is... is that the trophy blocks Thunder, but we know that he's likely to check Maze Island before a lot of other places for that.
Yes, right. Or it could be the spell location in New Kasuto. I mean, I think you're only going to need one magic container, so it shouldn't be too big of a deal to find one. He's actually going to go back in.
And unfortunately for Raikou, we're in Death Mountain.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, with the hammer, this is the logical play, actually.
Looking for a glove. Think that the glove would be on Death. Got 2 chances for glove at Death Mountain. Unfortunately, we know it's not here. It's likely 2 magic containers at this point.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen very many P-bags and such either yet, so there's still those all on the table as well.
Maybe a magic container, a red jar for all we know.
Red jar, little digger, that'd be like the biggest insult. And the little digger, little digger last when you know you're gonna up A.
Yeah, found the item. Drum roll, please.
And it is a magic container. So just what the doctor ordered. And he's going to find Naburu.
We see a thunder spell here.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, he's only looking for towns, because he has spell items to turn in and free spells to get, so... Wow.
He is in... That's it. He's in full dick shake. He's already in full dick shake. He could up A right now and go to Palace 4 and finish this.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he's got life at 27. Yeah, there it is. He's well set. This is crazy.
This has a chance of being the fastest time in the tournament.
Yeah, it does.
Because I expect Palace 4 to be done before an hour. And if you have a quick Great Palace, this could be a 65-minute seed.
Yeah, I mean, he should know the way to K-Rock for the most part. It should be at the bottom of the Crumble Bridge, I think, at the end of that drop. I think that's about the only place they hadn't gone. I think there was one more dead end, though, so that could be incorrect.
That was pretty early in the seed. He may have forgotten, but... I mean, I expect him to find Carrick within 5 minutes. If he didn't find Carrick already, he may have already found him and backed off. Because he's going a very specific path here. You made me look back, Culain. Give you all the credit there.
I was gonna say, it doesn't take much to do that, but, you know. There it is. Nope, that's not it either. That's the item room.
Congratulations, we found the item room now.
Yeah, so he's got to take a drop.
I thought you knew where you were going, Culain.
It was early in the seed. I mean, come on, kind of a break. So he opts out of that left. He's going to take this left instead. Going to opt into killing some Doom Knockers.
We got Raikou continuing to check out Death Mountain.
And having no luck whatsoever. Okay, so not at the bottom of the Crumble Bridge, as we are at the bottom here. So we'll have to loop back to the top. Via an elevator. And he's grinding enough experience, he just might get that life level. Or magic level, whichever one it is.
I'd say there's a pretty high chance that... I don't know anymore. That if this elevator had been you need to take a right, I'd say you'd be on the way to Carrick, but we're likely to see one of the left-handed dead end rooms here.
Yeah, he needs to go back and go down to the bottom.
Which is a bummer.
Yeah, he's got to go back down towards the where the item room was and go left, I believe.
Oh, he did that. But he needed to take the other left. Oh, and the other exit that's
man.
Is boots blocked. But
nice. Goes to nowhere.
But that goes into a swamp like island.
That is Dig Shake's personal retreat, sir.
Dig Shake's personal retreat. That would explain why we never found the other entrance to that mountain in exploration. There's probably one up hidden out there. There's gotta be all the little diggers out there.
Yeah, so he's gonna have to go down here. Item room is to the right, and he's gonna go left, which he opted out of last
here.
time.
Yep.
And at some point, this is probably going to loop back up to the Crumble Bridge jump. He's gonna have to go across or drop in the middle too.
Can't. I almost have to drop here because I think we've seen all the elevators.
Have we? Okay, I'll take your word for it. Yeah,
I think.
yeah, you're correct.
99.8% chance this leads to Carrick.
And it does. So Culain gonna finish up here at just around 59.5.
I still don't think Raikou has found either item in that mountain yet.
No.
I spot a boulder, but can't get to it.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that Culain dove 5 early, found the item, and it turned out to be the item.
And Raikou dove 5 early and decided to bail.
Well, I couldn't blame him. He was only 223 when he went in there. I mean,
I know. I don't blame him either.
he does find the boulder. Is it going to be...
It's a magic container.
Well, that's at least something. We know that's good, but not for him.
Culain trying to find his way back up north. I don't think he ever found the path with the boulder. So he's trying to find the cave. I'm pretty sure this is the short cave or Parappa cave that will take him up north. So very interesting that Culain pops in, was going to turn in his medicine, realize that, oh wait, I've got everything I need.
Yeah, I mean, at best it could be the shield spell, which is useful, but with life being so cheap, it's not that big a deal.
Shield would be useful, jump would be useful. There's still a slight chance he gets blocked in Great Palace because he doesn't have jump or up stab. A very, very slight chance he gets blocked here.
Well, glove required.
Glove is indeed required. I'm glad we got that out of the way early.
Raikou finding a nice little cave there.
That's the second time he's come out of that cave, unfortunately.
Always take the Eon drop.
He's not gonna do it. He's not gonna do it. He didn't do it. We're gonna find a dead end right here. Now we got a fun room instead.
A very fun room.
And that's not a bot, and that's not, like, dragon heads, so...
Yeah, but you got sideways fireballs, the diagonal ones. Those are always fun.
And that's true. We got a second drop. This one we're intent on taking. which leads to the exit of a different drop room. So I'm guessing the Eon drop would have taken us here.
Which means that it was the correct choice, because it was shorter.
Which, that means it probably was the correct choice, because it was shorter. Potentially.
We'll just make it.
It was like that was likely the location of the Eon drop right there. It should be said that the rules for the drops in the Great Palace is that the drop will never take you to a place you can't actually find an exit, which is either back to the beginning or the Dark Link. Or in this case, since Thunderbird is required, it won't put you behind Thunderbird. Boss bot.
Buzz Thunder making an appearance this time. Left it Fairy, always a good choice. Or left it Larry.
Logically, I can't get in my head to go left there. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Since when has Great Palace ever been logical?
Because I want to see Thunderbird in the Dark Link so it can have the fastest time of the tournament right here. Right now. Has to be right now.
Left at
That's
Fairy.
not right now. It's looking like Jay Coper is safe with a 68-minute time in round one. Still a chance, but...
Oh, dang.
Left at Larry.
Left
Get
it
your
where?
little digger.
Where on earth do you go from here?
You go left at the Jackamus room, which is
Yeah,
up
that's
the
right.
elevator.
Yeah, meanwhile, Raikou still exploring through Death Mountain trying to find Hammer Cave. Rough seed for him, unfortunately.
Still only 2 or 1 gem for him. Oh,
Yeah, he's ducked into 4, 5, and 6, but did not finish any of them.
and we have a Thunderbird sighting. But bad news is that we have no magic to actually cast Thunders, so... But luckily, Thunderbird does a ton of damage.
I'm not sure that's luckily, but you know.
Luckily. So 85 for Thunder at Magic 7.
Yeah, that
Wait
magic...
a second, he can't cast
He can't
Thunder.
cast it. He needs another magic container. Oh, no, he can.
But-
You're
but that
such a
was
freaking
65.
liar.
I am a liar. That was
Man.
I read that as 85 and 65. See, I'm bad at this. This is why I never commentate.
You had me worried for a second. That would be like the opportunity for Raikou to come back. He did up an A. I don't think he ever found the Hammer Cave. Ducks into 5 and leaves, unfortunately.
See, I just wanted to give you a heart attack right there.
I was just like, oh man. I was just happy because I was going to be right about something, but he actually did need a magic container to cast it, though, so I wasn't incorrect completely.
I have Dark Link in the next room. We'll have perhaps fastest.
Oh man, there it is.
Got a chance here.
Yeah, you're right,
Dark
Larry.
Link in the next minute.
He did sell it. He's like, he waited for it. Yeah, we might have a new fastest time of the tournament for sure.
No.
Oh, but he takes a death.
That's probably going to end up in a tie.
Well, that's what we have seconds and hundreds of seconds for.
Except if we haven't been reporting times like that.
There are things called VODs, my friend.
Ah, you're killing me here. So Raikou has decided to dive back into Palace 4.
Oh, he got it.
And he did get it. See, I'm bad at, you know. It's like, wait a second, he's fighting Dark Link, and I'm just, hey, look at Raikou. He's at Balance 4.
What a run. Wow. Congratulations to Culain. Like, I'm telling you, he is way better than he puts on. He's easily, I think, top 4 for this tournament.
So we'll see if Culain decides to pop in here for an interview.
Yeah, he's back in P4 with Reflect, so he's going to look to finish that up. This is not the correct direction, though. He needs to head west. And then north, and then around. And then drop.
Looks like we have Culain here. Congratulations.
Thanks. How was the watching the race there? I had a pretty good time.
You had a great time. So, want to take any guesses about where you went so right?
It went so right. Well, I guess maybe going into Palace 4 while I was on the way instead of going to Death Mountain, because I had those two choices to look for the raft or the hammer. And I decided that I might as well just start clearing some of Palace 4, figure out where the boss is, and I'll probably find the item along the way. And the raft was there, and I was really happy to find that. And since I grabbed the raft, going over to the east, I didn't find any towns, but I already had the glove and berries, so I was just completing all the palaces I found along the way.
So that was an excellent decision by you, but the biggest thing of this race is that you found the item in 5. Glove. And
I didn't...
Raikou,
Yeah, it was hidden pretty well in 5. I found almost every dead end. It was hidden, like, at an annoying location.
and Raikou went into 5 for a little bit, did a little bit of searching, but your levels were actually a lot better when you went into 5 than when he went into 5. And he decided that it wasn't worth it, and he played out, and he has not been back in 5 since. So he has spent approximately the last 50 minutes looking for the glove, and still has not found it.
Yeah, I knew either the hammer or the raft was going to be in either 5, 4, Death Mountain, and I was just trying to pick my poison of which one I wanted to go through and find it. I figured if I just got 5 out of the way completely, and I wouldn't have to worry about it again, and I did that with a few areas on the east where I didn't want to go back, and I didn't know where the last spell was.
Right.
Yeah, the trophy actually ended up being on Maze Island, which would have probably been one of the first places you'd checked if it just so happened that the kid or the medicine or any of the free spells weren't thundered.
Yeah, I figured I could get back to Maze Island pretty easily if I realized I was missing one of the spell items. I just didn't want to go back down to the southwestern lower area of that continent again, so I was grabbing items in the palaces while I was there. I was deciding whether I wanted to go back in Palace 1 or not, but...
Right.
And I wanted a magic jar too. Having only 4 magic jars was limiting me a bit.
And it turned out to be required to get one at top of that, as Thunder would have been uncastable at Magic 7, so...
Right.
But yeah, just all fell into place for you, man. Fantastic run.
Yeah, I was pretty happy. I was trying to run this just as if it was any other race that I do any other seed. Like, I wasn't trying to do any kind of special go faster strats or preparation or anything, but I just generally think that I do well in all my races usually if I just play consistently.
And we do have Raikou finding K-Rock here in P4. Gonna go ahead and take him down pretty quick. Yeah, I mean, Raikou's ducked into 4, 5, and 6. And unfortunately, just outside of getting the recorder, or flute, or plunger, whatever you want to call it, out of P4, just...
P4 was Raft.
Or Raft, I'm sorry. That's what I meant. He didn't end up with anything useful, and just missed that glove, and he's been searching everywhere for it. And 3 and 6, both the boss was accessible without the glove, but just didn't choose to go into either place when he was there, and just unfortunately put him well behind.
Yeah, I was determined whether I wanted to go into Palace 6 or walk out and check the Maze Island for more items or just learn another palace, but I figured I might as well take a stab at it. I'm inside of it, and I was able to get through it without too much difficulty. I almost game overed, but I was able to make 2 Barba and get rid of him.
How about the 5 lives you had as you went into Palace 5?
Oh yeah, at the beginning of the seed, 2 extra lives really early on. That made me feel a bit more confident, but they weren't really needed. I ended up resetting when I had like 4 lives or something in the next palace or something that I went to. But yeah, Guma 2 hits to kill you wasn't he wasn't very nice, so I had to take it a bit slowly there with the way I fought him, but it worked out.
And Raikou heading back to the Eastern Continent.
It was helpful that the life spell was very, very cheap this seed.
Yeah, life was quite affordable. I was guessing that quite a bit, and not even thinking about dodging half the time. I didn't find any towns on the east for the longest time. I was just like, I guess life will hold me as long as it takes.
Yeah, we do have Culain going into, or not Culain, I'm sorry, RaikouRider going into Darunia here. He's going to cash in the kid. We'll see what spell that ends up giving him.
After we ferry claws down the chimney and see if Upstab Guy has left us some cookies and milk.
So yeah, I mean, if you want to hang out until the end of this, I'm pretty sure that we will end up seeing the next bracket results whenever Raikou gets finished. This is the last race of Swiss Round 2. Might see if Dick Shaker Angry Larry's around, if they want to jump in and talk about that whenever we do see the next round pop up.
For all you know, the moment this race finishes, Dig's already going to refresh that page and have the next round set up for us, just like he did last week.
Oh, for sure. See if I can get the almost legendary BGT this time.
I don't know, I found experience really easy to come by in this seed. The moment I had, like, completed Palace 5 and went from attack 4 to 5, Guma didn't have a lot of health, so that was actually fortunate. I just grabbed every level that came to me along the way. I was killing everything I saw.
And you didn't take advantage of it, but there's even an opportune grind spot with the drippers dropping blue iron knuckles
I stood there for 5 seconds. That's as long as my patience can last. I knew there was... I'm just like, oh, by the time I farm some of these guys or whatever and get the attack level, I'll probably have already killed Guma.
I'd say if things worked out for you in the end.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with the way I ran through the seed.
I mean, best time in the tournament.
Was it? Really? I thought Jake Coper had like one of the best times, or maybe I'm mistaken.
He had a 68. Yours was a 67.
Around? Oh, 67, okay. Yeah, I didn't have to 100% this seed, just like everybody else.
And in chat, Angry Larry has now been triggered.
My last race, I ended up having to grab almost all the items because the glove was 7 magic container blocked in Yukasuto for me against Buzz Thunder, I believe. Yeah, it's not too uncommon to see sub-hour times for some of the runners here. So I don't suspect I'll hold that time for very long. Maybe the next round, Dick Shake, Unos, or somebody will knock my 107.38 or down. As long as they don't have to collect all the items, they can go pretty fast as well.
So we finally get to check out and see what the goodies are in New Kasuto. And we have a 500-point P-back behind the old lady.
Well, that's just more levels. Like, how can you not be happy?
And Spell was the spell here. And at the tower we have what's likely going to be a magic container, since we didn't see very many of those, but instead we got a red jar.
Oh, well, he needed his magic refilled.
he just left it there out of spite. Spell cost 72 to cast at Magic 3, and he just left it there with nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I see a lot of runners leaving their magic level pretty low. Like Larry ran through the last race with his magic at Magic 2 for the whole race, and he did have like what level 7 attack. It just I ended up thinking about how much time it's going to save me over the course of the race, not just generally the ending. And that's why I'm just trying to take as many magic levels to get through the game as quickly as I can, because I don't want to get magic blocked anywhere, especially since I had so few jars.
Well,
I know you can pool a lot of experience, but well, then you're risking getting stuck and dying and having a lot of problems along the way, which costs you more time.
well, there's a little bit of a choice that goes into that, because it depends on where you get the,
Yeah, what items you get along with it and how you're feeling at the time.
If you get the magic key with it early, then you're less likely to take a whole bunch of magic levels, because
Right.
you don't need to be mass casting fairy all over the place to get through palaces. And I think the magic key was relatively early.
And I had it.
You had the magic key relatively early in the seed, right?
Yeah, even still, I wanted the magic.
Fair enough. So Raikou turned in his trophy and found the fire spell, which we promptly found out was linked to Shield.
Oh, he's probably gonna go back to Mido now, or soon. Because has he gone back there yet after grabbing the medicine of life? I didn't see what it was in there.
I don't think he's been back to Mido yet.
Yeah, I was trying to weigh whether I should go after or not, and I decided I didn't really need any either shield or anything else going into the Great Palace. So I decided to walk out of Mido and just go straight north and finish the game.
At this point, I think it's actually guaranteed to be jump. I think it's the only one we haven't seen yet.
So Thunder, I believe, was in Nibiru, and he didn't find Nibiru yet? Or he didn't explore the southern side of the continent?
I'm not 100% sure what spells he has. He might not have found shield yet either, but he's been to the southern side, but I don't think he actually found.
Well, he's going through Heart Cave right now. Did he miss this early on in the race?
I guess he did. I thought he had actually been everywhere.
Oh, that 500 P-Bag would have helped him a lot earlier in the race. Getting that early, it would have given probably an extra attack level.
Right. I have Raikou's full stream up, and the look on his face is he's. I don't have his sound on, but I guess I can turn his sound on to see if he's saying anything. But he looks confused about where he needs to go next.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's 9 palaces is pretty much all that's left.
And he turned his voice off so he could actually use his audio if he wanted.
So I'm pretty known and bad for doing this, but I usually miss items like really close to the start, and I've had a few races where the glove was like a few tiles next to the starting location in a cave, ended up missing it, 100%ing the seed, only to come back and realize you missed the glove next to the start. It's a pretty bad feeling, but I've done it. I've had that happen to me a few times.
Well, yeah. In this case,
it's deep in P5.
It's forgivable because it's deep in P5, and you really don't want to dive P5 for any items.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, at this point, we're missing. What's even missing? I think we've seen everything, other than the items inside the palaces for him. Maybe a P-Bag cave or something, but.
I mean, you don't have it on the tracker yet for Thunder because Thunder was in
oh right, Old Pseudo.
Fire Town.
Or Nibiru, right?
Nibiru.
Yeah, I believe it was in Nibiru.
And he's gonna turn in Water of Life to
Old
get
Pseudo gave you the Reflex spell, and when I got that, I was deciding whether I wanted to go warp back to the start and complete Palace 4, but I decided I would just continue on because all I have waiting for me there is just a level.
So we're finally going to peak in Mido.
And you'll pick up this jump.
Which for him is going to be super frustrating because he's obviously looking for Thunder, and yeah. The Guru is just in kind of a weird spot. And we have an ASDK UY HGWFJKG Hazer Luffbag Welukudivavlik in the IRC.
What a great video game.
It is indeed a great video game.
So Raikou has found everything but Glove and Thunder.
Yeah.
So at what point did Raikou decide to go into Palace 4 and look for the raft? Did he go into Death Mountain first and explore all the caves in there, or...?
After his little excursion in the Palace 5, he went to 4 next. And then found the found a raft.
It wasn't too far in. It was only just like a screen and an elevator down to the left.
Yeah. And I mean, he went into 5 at 223, so you were 423, which is a little bit of a big difference, which is why he bailed, and it was just rough.
But of course, finding the raft was about the worst thing that could have possibly happened because...
And he is going back to P5.
because that means that he had a lot more places to explore than finishing Palace 5.
Correct,
Well,
yeah.
he's going back to Palace 5 now. He's might as well complete it and get it out of his mind, but...
We'll see if he actually spends time looking for the item, because I don't think he's finished it, or... he got close to Guma before he game over last time.
Well, I would at this point think that he's got to be item searching. If not, I mean, he doesn't have really... He has 3 or 6, and here left to check. He doesn't have anything else to look in, or 1 once he finds it, but... And again, props to him for finishing this out, because I would have forfeited.
Now, if I remember, the pathway to the item was in one of those horse statue rooms with an orange knuckle to the right of it. So if he finds one of those rooms, he should be on the right path to the item.
I think he's actually on the way to Guma here. Up this elevator and to the right, I believe, is Guma.
That was a good
that way
hour
to the
ago.
right leads toward the item. Like, down the elevator to the right there, I think does lead to the item. And this path up here leads to Guma.
Yeah.
Because you found Guma first, you beat Guma, you placed the gem for only 200 experience. But you were so, like, experience rich, it didn't matter. And...
Yeah, usually going into Palace 5, I'm not too worried because I generally pick up, it's a long palace, you have a lot of enemies to kill, you usually can pick up a lot of experience on the way, you can pick up a few attack levels. Like, I've gone into Palace 5 at 111 before in a few runs, and I've ended up leaving the palace at like 422 and 433, just with all the enemies you can kill along the way.
Right.
Because, like, I think one screen before Guma was the 2 dripper enemies with the blue knuckles.
So unfortunately, we find a dead end in Palace 5. Quite possibly the hardest room to recognize in the run as a dead end. Early, at the very least.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but the next match of the tournament, I will face against someone who's 2-0. Is that how it works, or I should face someone?
So, what... Does this make you 2-0 or 1-1?
Right,
2-0.
okay.
Yes,
So I'm looking at the
I didn't even
2-0.
check this. I need to check
Yeah.
the standings.
Well,
Yeah, I'm looking at
basically,
the 2-0 players right now, and we've got Unos, Nirm, V Resner, Scorpion Max, Dick Shake, Jam Evo, Joshy D, Error, and myself. And I'm trying to decide which one of these players I want to play in the next match and which one I don't want to play against. Now, the one I kind of want to play against, I would say, is Nirm, because he's probably closest around my skill level, and he's a good rival for me to play and fight. The one I wouldn't want to fight against is Joshy D, because I would just get too sentimental in the race, and it would probably cause me to lose.
So, the next round's going to be slightly complicated. Because we have 9 players at 2-0. We have...
Oh, because we have an odd number of players in the tournament, or something along the lines of that?
Well, we have 36 players in the tournament. And so, round 1, everyone was 0-0, and so you ended up with 18 players at 1-0, and you ended up with 18 players at 0-1. And now, after round 2, we'll have 9 players at 2-0, 9 players at 0-2, and 18 players at 1-1. So what this means is one unfortunate person at 1-1 is going to get matched up with a 2-0 person, and one lucky person at 1-1 is going to get matched up with an 0-2 person. It's in the tournament's best attempt to make even pairings. It's just someone's going to get screwed, or 2 people going to get screwed, and 2 people going to get quote unquote lucky. It's randomizer, so I mean anyone can win any match at any time.
So, Error, as part of the 2-0 group, who would you want to face in that out of the 9 players who are 2-0 right now, assuming you're going to face one of them? And who wouldn't you want to face?
Well, I don't want to face... You want to avoid Dick Shake and Unos as much as possible, because you got the defending champion and runner-up from last year, as well as one of those 2 is the creator of this. So...
So you're avoiding would be Dig Shake and Unos, but so who would you want to face against then, out of the other players? Would it be who you deem to be the easiest, or the closest to your level to give you a good game?
Well, I mean, if I'm looking to win a tournament, I want to definitely win next round, if only because that would guarantee...
You're already at 2 wins. You've got 3 more matches before, to win one of them. You don't have to be worried about who you're going to face the next round. Go against Dick Shake. Take him down. Get some practice against him.
So the way the knockout round works is, to the best of my knowledge, is that everybody who gets... There's actually 4 rounds in the Swiss stage. Only 4. And any player that wins 3 or more matches is guaranteed to be in the knockout round. And then, of the people who have 2 wins, they will have a huge race in order, just a single extra race to fill out the rest of these 16 spots for a single elimination.
So one big royale race where they're all going at once, and then okay.
Yeah. So
you have to place within a certain amount.
I haven't done the math yet to see how many players are actually guaranteed to finish with 3 or more wins. But let's just say that there's 10 players that way that have 3 wins or more, and then there's another 10 players that have 2 wins. So the 2-win players will have a big race, and the top 6 finishers of that race, in order to fill out the 16, will advance on to the single elimination stage.
Alright then.
So my goal would be to win next round, and then I've got 3 wins. I don't have to worry about the result of round 4. Round 4 is just for bragging,
Where's
right?
the fun in that? You want to always be worried
Or I
that...
can experiment, or I can do, just crazy things and
You know, that worry that someone's gonna knock you out of the tournament in your next match is that worry that's gonna make you play a really good game. Like, that's where the best games are. But, alright, that's understandable. You wanna have someone that you feel confident that you can take out in the next round. How about yourself,
granted, my confidence feeling was that I was going to lose this round to Jake Hopper. And that didn't happen, so...
Yeah, Jake Hopper has like a well-rounded, he has the times all over the clock. If he plays really well, he can do some really good sub-hour runs or really fast runs of the game. But a lot of the time, he ends up getting stuck finding all the items and then doing the usual hour-and-a-half to hour and 40-minute seeds. But I'm sure he was pretty happy with his last race.
So, back to actual commentary. Raikou actually did find Nibiru, found his Thunder Spell, so now he's just looking for a glove. Just a single glove. Doesn't need a pair to match the set.
All he wants for Christmas is a single glove from Big Shake.
Yeah. But as far as who I want to race, I mean, there's everyone that's like left at 2-0 is just all really good. So there's not any one single person I can single out and say, hey, I want to take out that guy. Although it was both Unos and Big Shake that knocked me out last year, so technically if I'm going for revenge factor, I'd want one of those two.
But it would haunt you that they would knock you out again.
Well, it's Swiss stage, and I still have another race after that against someone who would be 2-1 if I lost. Still, at this point, it's just one of those. Is it really a revenge race that I can't knock them out if in Swiss stage? So let's make any rematches meaningful and do it in a single elimination.
Well, I promised Dig Shake last tournament that I would knock him out. I never ended up getting matched up against him. Maybe I'll get matched up against him this tournament, and I'll give him a run for his money.
Well, you've got a shot next round.
I do.
Potentially. Depends on how the...
Roll the seed a few times, just so he gets his optimal matchup. But, hey, Genos, how about yourself? Anybody you want to face or don't want to face in the next round, particularly?
I want to play the not-so-legendary BGT, and then I need Joshy D to lose so I can play the legendary Joshy D.
Both legendaries from one tournament. Now that would be something.
And the player he most doesn't want to face is me, because that would mean he's going up against a 2-0 me, and he was that one unlucky sucker who ended up at 1-1, facing a 2-0 guy.
No, I mean, honestly, most of the people in the 1-1 bracket are going to absolutely kick my butt. I am not very good at this game at all. I originally hadn't entered, and we had someone who unfortunately was unable to participate. And in lieu of making sure that the tournament went on without a hitch, I agreed to sub in the spot, and that's why I'm here. Otherwise, I wouldn't be playing. But hopefully, I can do all right. I just my combat isn't the best, unfortunately.
Yeah, Air doesn't really play a lot. He hasn't really joined us for many of the randomizer races over the last 6 months there after the last tournament, but he did hold his position as number 3, number 4 for the longest time on the leaderboard, only recently being surpassed by me by a single point after, I think, like maybe 100 games. But yeah, if Air starts playing again, gotta watch out. He'll take back that third pretty quickly. If he can get through me.
You're ahead of me by a single point right now. Which is...
That's single point is all that matters.
Which is probably going to go to a little bit higher because...
I will get 1 single point from winning this game, or no points at all. But yeah, 2 points ahead. Now the lead's probably getting further. You're getting.
So I had to step away for a little bit. Did he get the glove out of 5?
Nope.
Oh man.
He beat the gem. He got the gem in 5, but he didn't actually get the item out of there. He's got every single spell. I guess he's looking for level 1, because I don't think he's actually, or Palace 1. I don't think he's actually found Palace 1 yet.
Has he found the Great Palace and know that the Great Palace was in the west? Because using that's why I went over. Because Palace 1 and Palace 3 were next to each other in the southwestern side of the continent. One was in Death Valley, the other was right next to it. So you gotta go around the continent like a clockwise kind of loop to get there by following this lake he's going to. Oh, that was it. Oh yeah. Did you like the pathway there in the water and the bridge encounter hidden?
Well, we did. We immediately called out Big Shake to fix it.
The bridge list encounter.
But he wasn't around, so.
Don't worry. Well, we'll highlight it for him later to see. But yeah, I had to stop on that pathway for a few seconds. I was just amazed.
So we got RaikouRider entering Palace 6 again. So the good news for him is that he can kill Barba. The bad news is the item is glove blocked. Well, also good news is the item is glove blocked. But the bad news is that he won't actually find the item and find out it's not the glove.
Well, if he eliminates all of the paths, then he would obviously have to assume that it's not.
Well, that would require him to eliminate all of his paths, which is worse than finding the item and finding it's not the glove.
I suppose so. That's true.
Run into the item before he runs into Barba. Barba was the difficult one to find, but it depends on how he goes through this.
I need to step away for a moment. I think you guys can handle things without me.
Yeah, I'll stay here with 8 Genos, or was that error?
That's error that's going off. I've been in and out myself. I've been trying to get my my kids to go to bed and such. So
You've been streaming for, I think, the last 6 hours straight, 8 Genos.
7.
Like, how are you feeling right now?
I'm really tired, and my house is like 84 degrees right now because our air conditioner's going out again. So I'm exhausted, but I'll see it through to the end
Yeah,
here.
but everybody in the community should give a big shout out to 8 Genos for hosting all of these games today. Everybody wanted their match on Saturday night, and 8 Genos decided that he's going to host everybody's stream back to back.
Yeah, I like restreaming, so it's not too big of a deal. Only way to get better at it is to do it. Like I said, I like doing it, and it's been difficult, but you know, usually doing commentary with the restream is agitating, but fortunately, it just gets a lot easier after you do it a bunch of times. I feel bad for Raikou here. Fortunately, both items in 3 and 6 are blocked. I mean, either way, I guess it doesn't matter. P1 being the one thing he's probably looking for, but this is going to be the very last place he checks.
Yeah, I believe Raikou is used to 100%ing seeds. He mentioned that he usually finishes all his seeds around like the 2-hour line on average, so he's probably not too bothered right now. Like, if this was me an hour and 47 into the race, I'd be freaking out.
Yeah.
But for him, like, he's probably used to playing around this speed, so he's gonna take it nice and casual. He doesn't have to worry about losing the race anymore, because it's just him now going at it, but...
Right.
So he can take his time and find all the items.
Yeah, I know for myself, man, he's gonna back out of 6 again. You know, even
He
at this
didn't
point...
reset his lives going in.
Yeah, which was unfortunate. Even for me, at an hour and 47, I'm getting pretty frustrated, and I'm not super good at the game, but I know that very, very few times is there a seed that should ever take you 2 hours to finish, really.
Yeah, BGT spent, I believe, like almost an extra hour on that last seed he had, re-exploring a lot of the areas he'd already been, just to cross everything off.
Right.
And during the last round, I think the one who spent the longest time finishing a seed and finishing a race was Sleepy Mario. He ended up not having a tracker, not using one, and ended up having to recheck every single item, every single cave in the entire game. Took him, I believe, just over 3 hours to finish.
Yeah, we had a story about that. We had a new person in the Zelda 1 tournament that we just had, and same deal, didn't use a tracker. I had never done it before, and it took something like 6.5 or 7 hours to finish a seed. It was a pretty trolly seed, but what it basically was is the ladder was in Dungeon 2, and the dungeon was one, west of start right there, where you usually screen scroll to go to 3, and just totally forgot to bomb it, and that's where it was. So it does happen. That's just unfortunate. It's a lot more prevalent in Z2 as well, because there's always the opportunity that you don't scroll the correct direction or something. Whereas, in Zelda 1, you know where the caves are. So it's incredibly easy to check. Whereas in this, it's not as simple, simply because of the configuration of how the overworld is, and it's different every single time.
At the edge of the continent, or you might not think you can walk on the water in a certain location. There are a few deceptive things, or you may die like one screen before, or one tile before seeing something.
Right. I mean, like, for instance, Angry Larry on the previous seed, he found the desert tile, but then didn't scroll down. I think it was literally one tile south, would have shown him Old Kasuto, and he instead, he saw Naburu over the northeast and headed that direction, and then just, you don't figure that little bit of swamp is going to contain something, and in fact contained the Thunder Spell. There's a lot of things that can go wrong on the overworld portion of this game. It really is, in my opinion, two different skill sets. There's the combat, and then the rando skill set, which is even different in this game than most, just because, again, of the overworld.
Yeah, usually about an hour into the run, I've already forgotten everything, where everything was on the western continent, so I like to grab everything on the west while I'm there, so I don't have to remember, because I don't use any kind of tracker, I don't use any kind of maps to remember where I've been, and just try to do everything by memory. Some people have trouble with Great Palace, and so they map it out room by room. I think Buzz Thunder or Link does that as well. But I just try and count how many rights and lefts I'm going.
Yeah, I used to not track the overworld, and now, I still do it for Zelda 1 too. I have a laminated map with a dry erase marker, and I mark things off. It takes a little bit of time, but it's not a whole lot. And for Zelda 2, I've just started basically using a sheet of copy paper, and I'll divide it in half, and I'll just write an S and an R. One's for the wrap spot, one's for the start location. And I'll just make a general note, P4, and it'll be some general direction from start.
Northwest or something, right? Rudo southeast to start.
And that usually is enough for me, unless it's some convoluted thing. But if I take a cave, I will mark that I took a cave as well. And it's really helped me a lot in remembering where things are. And now I don't map palaces. Sometimes I'll do GP, but I don't map 5 and 6. Yeah, if we can get finished here, Dick Shake. If you want to jump on here, we can when Raikou's done, or I guess if you want to do it on your channel, that's fine too. But I had figured at some point you'd probably want to do it.
Oh, the moment that he made it an option as whether it should be tonight or tomorrow night, he already sealed the fate as to what the chat would say.
Well, I mean, he definitely... I know he wants to do it tonight for sure.
We're all gonna stay up and as late as it takes, like... We have to know.
Yeah, hopefully Raikou will finish up this palace here, and we'll realize that he does. It's Palace 3, so it should be fairly quick. It's a small palace, and that'll mark one thing off. And I think at that point, he's still got to find P1, which is just over here, I believe, to like the northwest.
No, he's already completed P1. This is Palace.
Okay.
So he's completed Palace 1. This is Palace 3.
Okay, I missed that. Yeah, so he's basically down to 3, 6, and 5 for the glove. So he's got to get it pretty quick.
I'm beginning to wonder if he thought he got the item out of 5, but hasn't yet.
It's a possibility. That's why I like trackers.
Because I gotta believe that, just based on his play from earlier, going into 3 and 6 are like last-ditch scenarios. So that path led to the item room.
Right, I think there was only this path and that path. So if this goes to Ribanek, he should know.
This will
that...
take him to an elevator.
You go down the elevator to go toward Ribanek.
Because to the right is the outdoors dead end.
Right. Well, either way, he should know that the item is up there, because the only other path is to Ribanek.
So he hasn't been here yet. This is his first time in Palace 3?
Yes, the first time he was here, he left.
Found it
right away.
earlier, and then he immediately up-8 because he didn't want to come in here up close. In which he never actually noticed Palace 1 out there. Which is why it's taken him so long to actually get to Palace 1.
But he did get the item in here, right? I'm not sure what it was. I can't remember.
Item is glove block.
Okay, so he can at least get to the boss then if he goes down the elevator.
That's correct. He's almost to the boss right now. I wouldn't be surprised if he turns around and goes left after beating the boss to look for the item, but he's almost certainly going to get glove block doing that because he hasn't found that one lava room that has a glove block. Be interested to see if he takes attack 8 here or whether he actually starts filling out his magic with life.
Yeah, I think the item in this palace was just a heart container because I only had 4 going into Palace 1, which I did after for magic containers, and he has all the same stuff that I have for the most part. So I'm pretty sure it was a heart container in Palace 3.
Attack 8 it is. And an up A on the overworld. Are we going back to Palace 5? Are we doing it?
I hope so.
We're not doing it.
Oh.
We're going to 6. We have to be going to 6 at this point. Maybe we're not going to 6. We're going to 6.
Well, I need to go get some dinner to eat here. I haven't eaten all day, so good luck to you guys staying up commentating this. Hopefully we find out our next matches tonight. and we'll be looking forward to it. So until then, take care.
And congratulations.
See you next time. Yeah, thank you.
I don't know what else to say about this.
There's not.
We know everything. We know he's gonna go to Palace 6. We know that the item is actually glove blocked.
Yeah, I mean, there's no blame.
We know he
or
can
anything.
finish it. We know he can beat Barba.
Yeah, it's just one of those things, right? You don't want to go to P5. Maybe you're right. Maybe he thinks he's gotten the item out of P5 already. Which is unfortunate.
We'll find out if he full clear or fully checks out P6 and realizes that he can't get the item, and then forfeits. Because if he forfeits, I can only assume that he's not sure where he's missing an item.
Right.
Because if you've gone this long, you're gonna finish no matter what. But only if you have absolutely no idea what to do next. Which is perfect at this point.
Because I'm sure as heck not going to recheck everything. Again, props to him for finishing out this seed, because I would have forfeited an hour ago. Well, not an hour ago, but, 52 minutes ago.
To be honest, I'd probably forfeit any seed I wasn't in go mode and in Great Palace when my opponent finishes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But that's just me.
I don't know. I'm competitive, and once I lose, I lose. That's kind of how I see it.
If I feel like I'm close, then I'll finish just to see how close I was to the end. But in a 1v1 like this, yeah. Taking the Canadian hole because that's the only route he can go. Because glove.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately in this seed, once Culain got the item out of 5, and Raikou opted out, you basically knew that it was over. There was very few things that could have caused it to swing back the other way. And that's just kind of how Zelda 2 goes. I mean, if you find that item, it can just be that way.
Welcome to basically every randomizer?
Yeah, I mean, it happens in Zelda 1 with the, with the ladder or something. Yeah, it is basically every randomizer. Other than maybe, like, Super Mario World 3 or something, or Super Mario 3 or Super Mario World, but... anything that's got an item randomizer, kind of type of thing, has that symptom every now and then.
An item randomizer with gatekeepers.
And really frickin' hard combat. And randomized overworlds that are full of swamp.
I'm not sure swamp has anything to do with it. I mean, Super Mario World has water levels.
Yeah, but there's nothing worse than taking the raft over to Eastern Continent and it's this gigantic swamp that you have to walk through and you're like 212 or something.
And it contains MOAs?
Always, yes.
Always. We have the loop room, I think. The room that loops onto itself.
Yep. He was down an elevator to the right, to the left.
we're just gonna keep looping here forever and ever and ever. I think Raikou's gonna.
Yeah, he
gone
got
off the
it.
deep end.
He
He's
maps
gone off
these
the deep
dungeons.
end. It's over.
Yeah, he got a good laugh out of that. He maps all these dungeons and he figured it out. I've had that happen a couple of times too, where it's like a two-room loop, and it's like, wait a second, am I sure this is the same one? And I'll do it a couple of times, and I'm like, oh yeah, yep.
It's not very often you get to see oh my gosh, red iron knuckle jackhammered like that, or kill with down stab.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to do.
Because unlike the blue iron knuckles, they tend to follow you, or they back up faster than you can actually get under or over them. So, yeah. Anyone know if there's a certain percentage of grass, swamp, etc. for overworld generation? As far as I know, it's not an exact 1-to-1 percentage, but it's reasonably close. By the way, we've just basically found Barba. Because I'm pretty sure that bearing to the right here is Barba.
Barba has been found, and you gotta wonder, is he going to go back in for the item or not?
I don't think he's explored enough to absolutely rule it out. He's found both rooms that he gets blocked in, but I imagine he'll turn in his gym for his, like, 9,000 experience. And then go back in. Or back up and go in. And take a drop, which I honestly expect to loop on itself. Successfully did not take attack 9. All of the levels. I'll be interested to see if he goes to Great Palace now, just to see if he's glove blocked. Or if he goes into 5. We're going to Great Palace. We're going to Great Palace.
Well, luckily, right away, the answer is
right
pretty
away
clear.
You find out you can't go anywhere. But this tells me he has no idea where he's missing the item. He doesn't know what spot he's missed.
Very unfortunate. And a quizzical look upon his face as he steers pensively into the screen and unfortunately opts to forfeit.
I have an idea where it might be if it's in 5.
Welcome, RaikouRider.
When I saw the dot done so quickly, I was like, how? Where is this glove? I have an idea where it might be, though. You take the elevator, go up to the next intersection and go left. That's where it's got to be.
Yes.
Yep.
I actually don't know because it wasn't really next to Guma. It was quite a ways from Guma.
Yeah, I found Guma. Just I just didn't really feel like searching for the glove anymore. When I got to Barba, I was actually under the notion that this might be like a gloveless seed. Like that was the only thing that made it started to dawn on me. I think it was when I was able to get through Palace 3 and quite a bit of 6 without the glove that I was thinking maybe this is a gloveless seed, and he just gambled on it being a gloveless seed and just didn't care.
So basically what happened was that the both of you decided to go into Palace 5 about the same time. And he had actually found an extra 500-point P-bag on the overworld, so his levels were quite a bit better. And he decided to fully clear Palace 5, and you bailed out early and found the raft in P4, and finding the raft opened up so many more spots that it's like the glove's got to be someplace else. So, but he went into Palace 5. He killed Guma. He got the glove first trip, and it was just. And that's the way it kind of went. And he found all of like the required items super early because life ended up being super cheap at like Magic 4. So life ended up costing like 31 at Magic 4. And then the other 3 spells he found were Fairy, Reflect, and Thunder.
When I saw the dot done, I figured that he found like Raft in 4 and then went east and then found glove at like water tile or something. So it didn't really dawn on me to search 5 for the glove.
Right.
The reason why I like headed over to 5 is I was like, I have a good amount of experience. I'm gonna finish this level, hopefully get some information about 5 and then leave. So that's the reason why I went into 5 early, is because I was kind of over there at the time, and maybe I'll stumble into the item, maybe I'll stumble into Guma, but my main goal of going into 5 early was just to gather information and finish off an attack level. Matter of fact, I was thinking about upping as soon as I finished that attack level.
Fair enough.
And then I just looked everywhere else.
I mean, that was just one of those rough seats because glove in 5 is actually or having a really important item in 5 is one of the worst things, especially when it's something like the glove, where you know that 99% of Great Palaces you're going to get glove blocked. But you're not necessarily going to get glove blocked anywhere else in the seed. So it just turns out to be one of the last places you check again, and if someone happens to stumble upon it early, like Culain did, it turns into somebody finishing really early, and then the other person 100%ing the seed.
Yeah, I'm so sorry to waste your time, and
oh, don't worry about it.
But
no, you're fine, man.
Where I was at, it was either in Death Mountain, which was awful. It took me a long time just to find Spectacle Rock, and then I probably spent another 10-15 minutes in Death Mountain trying to find Hammer Cave, and I just couldn't find it. The other thing that when I saw that done, I was thinking maybe he found early Raft and Glove is in 1, and 1 took me forever to find. 1 took me for forever to find, Nibiru took me forever to find, and of course there was something important there.
Right. Because what I think happened there was that you went through Valley of Death and you found level 3. Or Palace 3.
Yeah, I found 3, and then
you decided to not check it out without the glove, and you immediately up 8, and if you had been like one tile like up and right, you would have seen Palace 1, which from there you would have seen Nibiru.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just kind of the way Randomizer goes. You win some, you lose some.
No kidding. No kidding. When I saw the dot done and I realized, I was like, how? Like, there were really trolly item locations, even the glove notwithstanding. Like, Raft in 4 is awful, too.
Right.
When I found Raft in 4 as quickly as I did, I thought I had a leg up. I'm obviously not.
But after he finished 5, he went to 4 immediately after. He wanted nothing to do with Death Mountain. And to be honest, finding the item in 4 is likely to be faster than finding an item in Death Mountain. So it's a good play. Checking out 4 that early was a great play. It just so happened that checking out 5 was also required, and that's one of the worst places you want to check.
Yeah, I mean, checking 4 at that time wasn't bad. I mean, there weren't really many better options at the time because I think I found everything except Heart Container Cave at the time.
Great.
Yeah, that was just a really rough seed. Having a lot of dungeons that you want to find early in the East was pretty terrible too.
Right.
Like, usually if I find 1 or 2, even if I'm only, like I'll go into level 1 at 111. It just was not easy to find, and 2 was not easy to find either.
Right.
I think what else drew me to Death Mountain was that I found the hammer in 2.
Right. So, I mean, going into Death Mountain, hey, there's 2 items to find. So even though it's a pain in the butt to go through, it's...
Like, it was a better option than searching 5 at the time.
Right.
Like, pretty much anything at that time was a better option than searching 5. And really, when I found Guma, I didn't really have that much of 5 cleared. Maybe about half of it.
Right.
And I didn't feel it was worth going through the other half of 5 to look. And the skill gap between the 2 of us doesn't help either.
You were doing fine. It was just... That's Randomizer.
Believe me, I know. I do a lot of Z1. It's like one of those seeds where... It's one of those Z1 seeds where you have to, like, get Raft out of 6 to find ladder in 8, and like 1 and 2 are ladder block, those sorts of things. Just awful. So, question is, do I want to do SMW tonight like I planned?
So, anyway, that was the final match of round 2. And I believe Dick Shake, at some point in time tonight, it could be soon, it could be later, I don't know, is going to do a round 3 reveal show.
Well, I'm going to just let Dig Shake get to that because I really don't want anything more to do with this seed right now.
I understand completely.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to do something completely different, like play SMW. All right,
So-
sorry to take the organizers and the viewers' time.
Oh,
Like,
no problem.
That was like that's the thing that I was most concerned about is like how painful it must have been for the viewers to watch.
Nah, it's fine, man. Not a big deal at all. We are, at least I am more than willing to let somebody finish out a seed, as long as we're not bumping into another restream. So, not a problem. Again, props to you for sticking it out as long as you did. I think both Aaron and I both said we would have most likely just forfeited right after the dot done by Culain at this far behind as if we were that far behind. So, props to you, man.
Oh, thanks. I more just wanted to practice because this is going to be in. I have like a streaming event coming up, and this randomizer is going to be in it. So I more just wanted the practice to see how safe my estimate was. But yeah, night.
Yep. Have a good night. Thank you very much. All right, so I am dropping a ton of frames, which is a good time to start dropping frames. There should hopefully be a reveal show over on Digshake's channel. I messaged him to see what was going on. He did not respond. I think he is AFK. I was going to host him, but he's not online either. So be sure to keep your eye out for that. Thank you all so much.
He is hosting you.
Right, yeah. So he's not online, so I can't actually send you all over there, but I'm sure that he's going to have something sometime soon. But thank you all so much for tuning in. It's been a lot of fun. As always, hope that you have a good night, and we'll see what we have for round 3. And thank you so much, Eric, for joining me.
No problem. Thanks for restreaming all of these.